So this is our second visit to Oulton Park this year. The opening round was here at the beginning of the season, and now we've returned for the penultimate round. And the weather this end of the year is normally more favourable, but as it turns out this weekend it's not. We've got a lot of wind and rain, particularly today, Friday and Saturday. So it's the same for everybody. We've just got to go out and ride the conditions and make the most of the time available. The schedule has changed quite dramatically. Normally we have 45 minutes FP1, FP2. This weekend, as a trial for what they hope to employ next year, is an hour-long FP1 and an hour FP2. And then throughout this season, the combined times of FP1, FP2 have determined whether the riders will begin qualifying 1 or qualifying 2. So this new format is the times aren't connected to qualifying 1 or 2 until the last 25 minutes of the free practice 2. So you could be hypothetically any position throughout FP1 and the first half of FP2. It's only the last 25 minutes of FP2 that will have an effect on whether you have to go into Q1 and make a good enough time to be in the top 3 to transfer into qualifying 2. And then from that point onwards, it'll be the same as previous rounds. You'll either go directly into qualifying 2 or, as I just mentioned, have to transfer into qualifying 2. Race direction and MCRCB safety delegate will use a period of approximately 30 minutes for track clearance. And then it should be good.
Yeah.
The last few rounds have not really lived up to our expectations, so a little bit disappointed in some respects there. So coming here this weekend, a second time to Oulton Park, expecting to get going straight away and be fairly competitive. I seem to be better early on in the weekend, and then as other people kind of progress, I sort of stagnate a bit in a way of terms. But anyway, we haven't had any dry tracks since the moment we got here. It's been raining, so all of the track conditions and the riding conditions are nothing like we had earlier this year. So we haven't got any sort of reference. Although last round at Assen, the track is very different here at Oulton. But in any case, we had wet conditions, so we've been able to use some of that information to try and help this weekend. Door down, heaters off. So I've got quite mixed feelings about the practice and the bike and track conditions and weather. Most of the practice, apart from the first, 4 laps of practice 1, which had a slightly drying line, and I mean slightly as in very slightly drying, the rest of practice 1 and all of practice 2 was heavy sort of wet conditions. My performance was quite varied throughout the 2 practice sessions. So I ended up in the final combined list in 4th position, but in the process of getting there, I had some quite less than confident laps with a lot of slips and slides from the bike. But having said that, there were a lot of crashes yesterday too. So even though I felt like it wasn't quite a straightforward process, I didn't crash. Had lots of, like I said, sliding moments, but not crash. So yeah, it's just at the moment it's difficult to create expectation for what I can do in practice 3 and in qualifying. So in the past, I've ridden in wet track conditions and been able to ride to a point or to a limit with some confidence. So you feel like that's something that you can repeat and reproduce. Whereas yesterday's conditions were wet, like we've ridden many times before, but I didn't feel confident immediately to go to like the limit, let's say. The bike felt quite unpredictable, and I think it was more like the track conditions were quite unpredictable. So I did finally get to 4th position in the times, but it took me quite a long time to build up to that point. So it's not like I can just go out and be given like 2 laps in qualifying, let's say, and be able to repeat that time. It's something that you have to sort of spend a multiple number of laps building up to. So with that in mind, it makes it hard to predict what I could potentially do in qualifying. It'll be more of just like ride the bike, ride to the conditions that we have and see where we end up. This is the part of the day where Lee and I, although Lee's not here, which is fairly standard, he's normally late to these, so I don't know if it's that he doesn't like you. I think he doesn't like speaking that much, so he lets me do most of it, and then he just like sneaks in later on. So we'll see how that goes today. Oh, he's here now, so he's not that late. Well done, Lee. So yeah, we during this part we just sort of chat about the weekend, how things have been going. I felt that we're struggling, or at least me anyway, early laps on. Obviously we got tyre warmers and we try and you know, set the tyre temperatures and warmers and pressures and everything to match the conditions, but it seems like the bike seems to get better as the session goes on, which doesn't really make a great amount of sense. With all the experience I've had over all the years, I can't really pinpoint exactly why it would feel like that, because obviously we do all the preparation that's possible to try and limit how much that effect would have. But anyway, as I go through the sessions, through the laps, the bike seems to get better. And during the final free practice, I was out testing that setting, those adjustments we made, hoping that they would make a difference. And a lot of the other riders were coming past, showing that the grip was there, full lean angle, lots of acceleration. So I tried to go with them and high-sided, crashed the bike and went over the handlebars. So yeah, clearly just ignoring those instincts and going with everyone else isn't the best way. So fortunately no serious injuries, or no injuries at all really, so that's good. Went out in the qualifying, sort of tried to build momentum, but the track conditions were actually drying out quite quickly compared with what the temperature of the day feels like and how much rain we've had. It's surprising how quickly some parts of the track were drying out. So some areas of the track were completely dry, like you could run slick tyres type dry. But then other areas of the track, like the last 2 corners onto the start-finish straight, was completely wet. So I just, yeah, didn't have the feeling that I needed to even match my best time from yesterday. So left a little bit to be desired, but ended up 10th out overall in the qualifying. So yeah, not the best, but not a disaster either. So what's even more interesting is that this afternoon looks like it might be a dry race. The forecast is no more rain for the rest of the afternoon, well, at least for the next couple of hours. So yeah, who knows, we might roll out in race 1 with dry track conditions for the first time this weekend.
Nobody got more experience around here than you though.
That may be true. I'm using the logic that most weekends FP1 I'm pretty good. I'm up the front area, so this is like FP1 really.
Yeah. Take whatever floats your boat, Josh. Whatever floats your boat.
We just looked at the weather that had come through, and it was a small shower that didn't really saturate the track. So the water that was down wasn't going to be lasting. So even though it was declared a wet race, you know, I didn't have a championship to defend or anything. So I knew I could take a bit of a risk, and I felt strongly on the side of the intermediate tyre would be the correct choice. And when all the warmers come off, I looked over my shoulder, and you know, Leon was the only person on the grid that I could see within, you know, a short distance that had the same tyre choice as me. So I immediately thought, well, it's going to be between Leon and I. And we set off, and I was getting really like in battles with people on the opening few laps. And then I actually was thinking to myself, you know, there's only really one person I have to worry about. That's Leon. So I don't need to get in a battle with all these people on wets. The change is going to come in our favour.
But now it's all eyes on the sharp end. Who takes glory in race one at Oulton Park?
Both fastest lap of their race. Haslam just a tad behind Josh Brookes into the 39s now.
That's Blaze Baker just up ahead of them on the road, and Christian Idden also.
Yeah, on completely the wrong tyres now.
Sitting up and out of the way is Blaze Baker. Brookes then, he has got 2 chances.
That's what he's got, yeah.
Around Shell Oils, and he's building up good speed there. He's got to get Britain's absolutely spot on to have a chance then over the hilltop.
He can't have a go into Britain.
Oh, he's going to have a look. Oh, that was brilliant from the Australian.
Fantastic.
What a move from Brookes, and he's caught Leon napping a bit there, and I don't think Leon liked that much. Leon immediately retaliates, and now he has the inside line, but he can't get through.
Yeah, I didn't think Josh would go that early, because it hands it back to Haslam to have a go down into his lots, which he's failed to do. One chance for Leon now.
Leon Haslam, just one more opportunity then, and that will be into the final corner, and he will have a look. Will Josh Brookes go defensive? The checker flag is being made ready in front of us here in the comms box. Around we go, Druids, and now the approach to Lodge. Leon doesn't look close enough at this particular stage, but does Josh go defensive?
A little bit, but he's got in first. This is Josh's to lose now. Brilliant.
DAO Racing may well have a race win, and Josh Brookes has won again. Bad boys back. What a great race from the Australian. He takes glory here ahead of Leon Haslam. They both gambled, and it paid off.
That's who you are.
I don't know if I'm excited about the result or just relieved to get over the pain and misery I've been suffering the last number of years. I was wondering if this was ever going to happen again, but Leon and I are the oldest 2 on the grid, and both being at 42, whoever won that race would set the new oldest BSB race winner. So we had a race between us for a number of reasons. In the race, I saw when I looked over my shoulder, it would take the other rider a bit by surprise, and maybe.
The 57th career win for Australia at DAO Racing Honda. It's a special day for the DAO Racing Honda concern to collect the team award. Well, that's one of our guests from Redditch to make a podium presentation then. 2-car ride. Carl, 59 times now on a BSB podium, and the 7th year at Oulton Park for the reigning champion and the championship leader. Leon Haslam, 121 times on a BSB podium, and the 25th year at Oulton Park. Josh Brookes back on top of the podium for a 57th time, and the 10th year at Oulton Park. And Brookes is back. The bad boy does it. Team DAO get the team award as well. So the British Superbikes Championship with the 57th win. The Prosecco to the DAO. That's a big push. And here's Connor. Marvellous stuff.
Fortunately, the rain went away finally, and the last few laps the track was drying and the tyres were getting hot, and I felt like I had a package that was working better on those tyres, and our pace was so equally matched, so I didn't think that just like a regular pass was going to be enough to make Leon just accept second. So I thought I needed to make a pass in an unconventional place just to catch him off guard, and then maybe gain a couple of tenths so it wasn't like an immediate tack back in the next turn. And the last sort of sector, I just took a lot of risk, I guess, in a way to make sure he couldn't attack back. And yeah, it was really obviously fighting hard to get this result. It's not a conventional way to win a race, but I don't care. I didn't know if I was ever going to get another one of these again on my recent results. So it's just nice to be back up here either way.
Good mate, see you?
Yeah, good, thanks.
I'm really pleased for you.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank
you.
The radar, the patch, come when we saw the back end of it, and then in like 20 minutes time there's going to be another like slight spring.
Same for today?
It's far wetter today than it was yesterday. It's still bits of rain coming as we sit here. There's forecast for another soft shower in 20 minutes, so it's not the same race we had yesterday.
Well, still life in the old dog yet?
Absolutely, no doubt, I think.
Yeah, good lad. Thank you.
The pressure's going to go up. What happened?
Take from Ireland.
Hey?
Take one blew up. From Ireland, all the way through.
I'm sure everyone understands the schedule's been messed up by the oil spill and blah blah. We can't have much influence on that. We just have to adapt and accommodate the circumstances. This weekend every session's been wet. We've been riding around in full wet tyres, wet suspension, wet setup, trying to do the best we can. And that race there was like really the first time this weekend we've been in on slick tyres in full dry conditions. So it's the same for us as everyone else. We sort of had to guess a setting. So we kind of put the settings in the bike that it had at the start of the year. Obviously that's a long time ago. I've got used to the bike being in a different settings on the bike and it's used to a different feel of the bike, stuff that I've sort of become accustomed to. So to go back to what I had at the start of the year, even though it's something I've already ridden on before, it's quite a time ago, it didn't really feel amazing. I'm sure a lot of other riders on the grid thought probably the same thing and didn't perform as good as they'd hoped. But it was obviously a little bit disappointing. The good result of yesterday in those tricky conditions got me on the pole position, and then I wasn't able to carry that to a good result. I kind of slipped back. The mechanics at the moment are swapping the settings more back to how we would have been in races leading up to now. Although the last race we're at was Assen, very much a different track than Oulton Park. Assen's very fast and flowing. Here is very bumpy and sort of a lot of tight, twisty corners. So things like direct settings from Assen won't obviously directly work here. But the bike's been in sort of a general range that I've sort of been more accustomed to over, let's say, the last 5 rounds. So we're going to sort of go back a little bit more into that that realm of settings, and hopefully that gives me a bit more confidence with the package. It might not be perfect for Oulton, but I don't think anyone's going to have the perfect setup today because no one's had a good amount of track time. So at the moment, all the riders, all the teams, all the technicians will be kind of like desperately talking and sort of frantically coming up with a kind of mixture of settings versus something they've had before or something they've got confidence is going to work now. So I think everybody's a little bit in the same boat. Disappointing weather all weekend, but we came away with a race win on the back of challenging conditions. It opened up an opportunity for us to take advantage, so we have to look at the positives and be happy with the result. When the conditions today were back to mostly dry, we went back to our sort of usual struggles, and you know, we just have to keep working. I know I've said this many times, we are trying. I'm sure the people tuning in and watching are as frustrated as I am that the progress isn't better, but I assure you we are trying, and yeah, it's good to have Lee back full time, and we're working together with trying to improve the bike. But at the moment, we just don't have the package to do the good results every race, every weekend. So we just have to try and finish the year on a high at Brands Hatch.